Wait, please don't hurt her. The desperate voice echoed through the narrow alley as a man in a torn jacket stood face to face with two strangers dragging a frightened pregnant woman toward a car. The night was cold, the city lights flickering faintly in the distance. That man, Daniel, had no idea that stopping that car would change his entire life. Before we begin, if you believe kindness still exists in this world, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story will remind you that miracles come when we least expect them. Daniel was a single father to a 7-year-old girl named Lily. After losing his wife in a car accident 3 years ago, he had devoted every breath to raising his daughter. Life wasn't easy. He worked double shifts as a mechanic, came home to cook simple meals, and helped Lily with her homework before falling asleep beside her each night. He had no time for himself, no dreams left, just survival. That night, after a long day at the garage, Daniel was driving home when he saw the commotion, a young woman struggling to break free while two rough-looking men forced her into a black SUV. Without thinking, he stopped his car, jumped out, and shouted for them to stop. One of the men cursed and swung at him, but Daniel, fueled by instinct and rage, blocked the blow and pushed the woman behind him. After a tense scuffle, the men fled, shouting that he had no idea what he just got into. Daniel helped the trembling woman to his car. Her clothes were dirty, her hands bruised, and she clutched her swollen belly protectively. "Please, don't take me back," she whispered. He assured her, "You're safe now. I promise." Her name was Emily. She was 8 months pregnant, and her story shattered Daniel's heart. Her husband had sold her to a human trafficking group to pay off gambling debts. She had escaped once before, but they'd found her again. She had no family, no money, and nowhere to go. Daniel didn't hesitate. He took her home. When Lily saw Emily, she smiled innocently and said, "Daddy, is she an angel?" That simple question melted the tension in the room. Emily tried to smile but broke down in tears. Over the next few days, Emily stayed with Daniel and Lily. She helped around the house, cooked meals, and sang softly when Lily couldn't sleep. Slowly, the silence in Daniel's house, once filled only with echoes of loss, began to feel alive again. But the danger wasn't over. A week later, Daniel noticed a strange car parked outside his home. He knew they had been found. He sent Lily to stay with a neighbor and confronted the men who came knocking at midnight. They threatened him, demanding Emily back. Daniel stood his ground. "You're not taking her anywhere," he said firmly. "You'll have to go through me first." The fight was brutal. One of them struck Daniel hard enough to make him stumble, but before they could overpower him, sirens wailed in the distance. Emily had called the police. The men were arrested, and Emily was finally safe. But something deeper was changing between Daniel and Emily. As days turned into weeks, Daniel found himself drawn to her quiet strength. She'd sit by the window, rubbing her belly, and talk about the baby she would soon bring into the world. Daniel found himself wanting to protect not just her, but the child too. Then one stormy night, Emily went into labor. The power went out, and Daniel had to drive her to the hospital through heavy rain. She was in pain, crying, clutching his hand. "Don't leave me," she pleaded. He squeezed her hand tightly. "I'm not going anywhere." Hours later, Emily gave birth to a baby boy, small, fragile, and beautiful. When the nurse placed the baby in her arms, Emily wept silently. She looked at Daniel and whispered, "I don't know if I can do this alone." Daniel's eyes softened. "You're not alone anymore." But tragedy struck again. Emily's health began to decline due to complications from the pregnancy. She needed emergency surgery. As she was wheeled away, she turned to Daniel. "If anything happens to me, promise you'll take care of him." He couldn't speak. He just nodded, tears in his eyes. Hours passed like years. Then, finally, the doctor returned with a tired smile. "She made it. She's going to be okay." Daniel exhaled in relief, and for the first time in years, he dropped to his knees and thanked God. Months later, Emily recovered fully. She and her son, whom she named Hope, stayed with Daniel and Lily. The four of them began to build something new, something that felt like family. Lily adored her baby brother, and Emily often caught Daniel watching them with quiet admiration. One evening, as they sat watching the sunset, Emily whispered, "You saved my life, Daniel." He smiled gently. "No, Emily, you saved mine. I thought my life ended when I lost my wife, but you and hope reminded me that love can be born even out of pain. The scene closed with the family sitting together, the light of dusk falling softly through the window, their hearts full, their wounds healing. Because sometimes, miracles don't come as thunder or lightning. They come as broken people, who find each other just in time. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because somewhere out there, another Daniel or Emily might need to hear that hope still lives.